My man has his little bitty girl on the back. And when I say little bitty girl, I'm not talking about a skinny girl he's dating. I'm talking about his daughter. And she had no gear. She had a helmet. She had one of those open-faced helmets with just the little windscreen. But come on, man. They make dirt bike gear for kids. There was actually, my mom was talking to me about some story she saw on the news. Some kid, 16 years old, killed in a motorcycle crash. So tragic. And they were interviewing his preacher, talking about what a great kid he was, how much life he had left to live in him. You know, he just died. Mom thought he was doing tricks because they said he jumped the railroad tracks. And I was like, well, no, he could have just, like, lost his balance going over railroad tracks because they can kind of jerk your front tire around a little bit and throw people off, especially if they're new to riding. So I wasn't going to blame him for that. That just happens. And then she said the very last sentence in the report is he was not wearing a helmet. I was like, well, there you go. There's the problem. 16 is required to wear a helmet in this state. Actually, that's in Tennessee, and everybody is required in Tennessee to wear a helmet. It is one of, I think, 20 states that require helmets for everybody. Most states, with the exception of, I think, 3, have a graduated helmet law. You have to wear a helmet until you're 18 or until you're 21 or some variation thereof. Tennessee is one of the ones where you have to wear a helmet no matter your age, and it has to be DOT approved. So while I feel bad for this 16-year-old kid who got himself killed because he was an idiot, he was an idiot. I mean, it is the law, and he should have been wearing a helmet, especially at 16. Now, I am all about the graduated helmet law. You could wear a helmet, you have to wear a helmet until you're 18 or 21, and then you can make a choice after that. I'm all about that. More so than I am about the helmets all the time law. That, to me, I think is an infringement on personal rights. I think you should have the right to decide if you want to wear a helmet or not. My personal choice is I'm going to wear a full face helmet and full gear regardless of what state I'm in. I really don't care. That's my decision, and I'm going to stick with it. That's fine. If you want to wear no helmet and you are over 21, that's fine. I'm not opposed to that. I think when it gets wrong is when you're subjecting, like that man was doing to his little girl, she was wearing a helmet, yes, but she wasn't wearing any other gear. She is too young to know that she should demand gear, And she probably doesn't want to grow up with scars like the one I've got on my knee. She's too young to know. She's too young to make that decision. That 16-year-old boy that was killed, too young to know, too young to make his decision? Maybe. I don't know. 16's getting up there as far as he should know. But still, it's the parents' responsibility to assure that the child is adhering to that law. I wouldn't mind if they said, I wouldn't have cared as much if that kid had been over 18, I guess. Because then I would have viewed it more as, well, it was his choice not to wear a helmet, which is illegal, but it was still his choice. He was still old enough to know, and he chose not to. That's okay. But I don't know, just something bothers me when I see little kids on bikes and their parents are not taking hardly any precautions or minimal precautions. I once saw a girl that could not have been more than 2 years old in front of a man riding his motorcycle, and she had a little bitty helmet, although I can guarantee they don't make DOT approved helmets for a head that small, because you have to be able to reach the foot pegs and ride behind the operator of the motorcycle in Tennessee. So I can't imagine they sell toddler helmets that actually would fit her properly and would be DOT approved. I mean, but yeah, there were so many things wrong with that. She was only wearing a helmet and just street clothes, as was her father, but I really don't care what he does. And she was a toddler, for another, too young for her feet to hit the foot pegs, so that makes it illegal, and she was riding in front of him, also illegal. 3 illegal actions in one idiot father. I mean, it's not her fault that he's putting her on there like that, but seriously, if you're going to have your kids on a bike, and I fully plan to have my kids, whenever I get around to having them on a bike, they're going to be in dirt bike gear, because they make it in smaller sizes. And, you know, they're going to have back armor, chest armor, knee pads, whatever I can find. And then, yeah, to it, I'm going to have full face helmets and nothing less than full face helmets. I don't see, I mean, especially for a child, none of the brain buckets. I don't know, I think that's unfair to your children. I think that is up there with child negligence. You know? That's like putting your infant in a car without a car seat. Except probably worse, because it's a toddler on a motorcycle. And motorcycles don't have the same kind of safety precautions as cars. I don't know. Something wrong with that kind of parenting. So yeah, that's my rant. I also saw a guy recently, he was wearing a bicycle helmet on his motorcycle. And I mean, he was on I think it was a Harley Davidson, but it was like one of those big touring Harleys. Not I'm cool and ride a Harley, like, here, let me go cross country on my Harley kind of Harleys. And he was wearing a bicycle helmet. I couldn't figure that out. I was like, what are you doing, dude? There are bicycle helmets that are DOT approved, but they are DOT approved for bicycles, not motorcycles. Those are different vehicles, and they have different helmet approval ratings. I don't know, it was just kind of a funny thing. He had a woman on the back who was wearing a half helmet, you know, regular DOT approved half helmet, and at least it didn't look like a novelty helmet. So I figured he had probably given her his one and only helmet and had worn the bicycle helmet instead. At least I hope he was the kind of gentleman who did that. But honestly, if you don't have 2 helmets, like 2 actual motorcycle helmets, just don't take a passenger. I mean, that does not seem like it's really that crazy of a thought. When I first started riding, I had a guy come into my house who was a biker, and he was helping my mom fix something, and he saw my bicycle helmet, because I ride bicycles too, sitting out on the kitchen table, because that's where I store my helmets. And he asked my mom, he's like, this is not what she's wearing on the motorcycle, is it? He's like, I got friends that do this, and please tell me this is not what she's doing. And my mom's like, oh, no. And she showed him my full motorcycle helmet. It was full face, DOT approved, not Snell approved, because it was a modular helmet, and you have to have a fixed chin bar to be Snell approved. And he was just like, oh, thank God. And then he told my mom the story where he had just gotten an actual DOT approved helmet for the first time ever. And he went riding with a couple of his buddies, and his girlfriend was wearing the DOT approved helmet. He was wearing his novelty helmet because he had to have something for Tennessee, but he didn't want to wear a real helmet for whatever reason. And he was on one bike and his girlfriend was on his buddy's bike, the back of his buddy's bike, and they went down. Deer pulled out in front of them. Well, deer, I guess don't really pull out, but a deer crossed the road in front of them and they caused them to crash. And so he said that over the sound of the bikes, of all the bikes, they could hear the crack of his girlfriend's helmet. And his buddy had been, I think his buddy had been pretty injured and taken to the hospital, but she had been fine. I mean, her brain had been fine. I'm sure she got road rash, but anyway, I've ranted long enough about helmets. Please choose to wear at least a DOT-approved helmet, or at least put one on your kid if you're transporting your small child. What are you doing, buddy? Are you turning? There's a turn lane for that, honey. Wow. Yeah. You're not very intelligent, are you? Oh, well, she was young. She was like 16. I wasn't very intelligent at 16 either. So, yeah, at least put your kids in helmets and gear. I don't care if you choose to or not. But let's put the minors in some gear. And thanks for watching. And ride safe. Bye, guys.